from American Public Media.
And we are live from here at Town Hall in New York City. And here is your host, Chris Neely.
Ahoy! Let's hear it for our musical director, Mike Elizondo. Our house band tonight includes Alex Hargraves on fiddle, Armand Hirsch on guitar, Eric Dube on drums, and Gabriel Kahane on keys. Oh, do we ever have a wonderful show for you tonight? Our guests are Big Thief. Miss Marina Franklin is here. DW Gibson is here. Tom Hiddleston, Charlie Cox, and Zoe Ashton from the Broadway play Betrayal. Miss Aoife O'Donovan. And they might be giants. Live from here, supported by Progressive Insurance, protecting your business with specialized coverages for your commercial vehicles. More at progressivecommercial.com. And by Noom, offering a personalized weight loss program that uses psychology and small goals to help lose weight and keep it off for good. Learn more at Noom, Noom.com. Live from here is produced by American Public Media.
She told him that he should go to school. He'd sneak away in the afternoon, take a little walk, and pretty soon he'd find him at the local auction barn. He'd stand and listen carefully, and pretty soon he began to see how the auctioneer could talk so rapidly. He said, oh my, it's do or die, I've got to learn that auction cry, gonna make my mark and be an auctioneer.
$25 bid it now, $30, 30, will you give me 30, make a 30 bid it on a $30, who will give me 30, who will bid it at a $30 bid?
$30 bid it now, 35, will you give me 35 to make a 35 to bid it at 35, who would have bid it at a $35 bid? Who would have bid it at a $35 bid?
And again I say, ahoy! Been a lot of high-stakes public speaking this week. Don't worry, I'm not gonna talk about it. We're just gonna play and sing about it a little bit here and there around the edges, starting with that last number, the Auctioneer. Auctioneering might be the only form of public speaking that sounds as high stakes as it is. It's constantly at the back of my mind during our 2 hours together that whenever I step up to this microphone, I'm only ever one expletive away from ruining my life. I see you drive around town with a girl I love, and I'm like, another close call. I've been speaking in public regularly since I started playing shows with my dad when I was 8 years old, which means I've been actively courting disaster for 30 years. Knock on wood, though, disaster and I have still only made out. Although, we've been close to consummation many times. Many times. The one that sticks out for me is my band Nickel Creek's first ever show in Ireland. Oh my God, I was so excited. 20 years old, thoroughly obsessed with the Irish music scene. Here we are at this legendary club in Dublin called Wayland's. Sold out. We finish our first song, which at the time was probably 2, 3, 4. The place goes nuts. My bandmates and I are ecstatic. The venue manager deposits a ceremonial round of Guinness on stage, and as the applause finally begins to recede, I say, "It's so great to be here in the UK." Wait. You hear that right there? That sound right there? That's the sound of a room full of Dubliners who've just been told by a 20-year-old American with frosted tips that it's great to be there in the UK. And it might be my least favorite sound. It's nearly identical, by the way, to the sound one hears after a particularly unfortunate wedding speech. Oh yes, we are all presented with opportunities to die slow, agonizing deaths at the hands of public speaking. But they are temporary deaths, at least. However often we may be gleefully reminded of them by spouses, children, bandmates, or perhaps the entire internet. 2 thoughts about all of this, not that you asked, especially after that story. 1, the more we heed the advice given to us by said spouses, children, and bandmates about whatever it is we're trying to say, the less hell they can give us for it afterwards. And 2, if you don't like getting hell for the dumb stuff you say, don't run for public office. Here's your brand new song of the week, a pep talk of sorts called "It's a Long Way Across the Wire." Tire yourself right out pretending that you can write a happy ending to this story by yourself. 'Cause it's been a long way across the wire. Ain't no shame in falling, but just in being ashamed of calling for a friend to come and help. Yeah, it's a long way across the wire, and it's been a bad day. tire yourselves right out pretending that you can write a happy ending to this story by yourselves. 'Cause it's a long way across the wire. Ain't no shame in falling, just in being ashamed of calling for a friend to come and help. Yeah, it's a long way across the wire, and it's been a bad day. But I bet it'll get a little better, bet it'll get a little better. But let a body in, I bet it'll get a little better. Whoa, let it get better, let everybody in, 'cause body with everybody in, I bet it'll get a little better. Citizens of the airwaves, please make welcome They Might Be Giants!
Sandwich straight from the can, it tasted so bland. I asked the lass to pass me a glass of Engels' conditions of the working class. Right away they dragged me to the committee to explain my un-American activity. They're gonna see they made a mistake. They'd only let me play my mixtape. I'm not partial to the Marshall or the plutocrats in their beaver hats. And the fascists have the outfits, but I don't care for the outfits. What I care about is music, and the communists have the music. I hear a melody, and just as suddenly I know where I'm supposed to be. I don't need a rationale to sing the International. I only need to plug in my headphone jack so I can listen to my backing track. I'm not jealous of the zealous or anarchics with guitar picks. And the fascists have the outfits, but I don't care for the outfits. What I care about is music, and the communists have the music. Yes, the communists have the music. Oh, the communists have the music. I hear a melody, and just as suddenly I know where I'm supposed to be. I'm not jealous of the Zed
Yes, the communists have the music. Oh, the communists have the music.
Merci. Thank you very much. It's great to be here at Town Hall. It's just such a short subway ride away. I got to put this down. If you guys need this, it's cool. There's a TV screen in front of us with our names on it. We are They Might Be Giants from Brooklyn, New York. We want to thank you all for being here. In our high-tech show, this song starts with this whole sound effect-y thing that we can't. Well, I'll just reproduce it.
We can't do here. There's flames usually.
Yeah.
We can't do the
flames shoot out of the microphone. Let me tell you about my operation.
Smile, white scrub, side feet on the dash. I'll sleep the whole damn day. Slow lane propane empties for cash. Rearview mirror thrown away. Oh, let me tell ya about my operation. Doctors removed your memory. Très bon. Ground floor, screen door, yelling inside. I think you know the scene. Front lawn, break of dawn, clothes on the ground. How could she be so mean? Oh, let me tell ya about my operation. Doctors removed your memory. Oh, it's good news. It's just a quick procedure. Find happiness through surgery. Your attention, please, to Mr. Marty Beller on the drums. Let me tell ya about my operation. Doctors remove your memory. Oh, it's good news. It's just a quick procedure. Find happiness through surgery. Oh, let me tell ya about my operation. Doctors declare I'm better now. Our liaison, oh, it was poison, baby. Our liaison, it wasn't dry. Très bon, très bon, très bon.
Très bon indeed. They Might Be Giants. They Might Be Giants. They'll be back later in the show. Next up, we have a treat for our listening audience. The cast of the Broadway play Betrayal here to share a slice of the Harold Pinter classic with us tonight. Tom Hiddleston, Zoe Ashton, and Charlie Cox. Thanks y'all so much for joining us. What you doing? What you doing tonight? Something from the play, one assumes.
Well, yeah, there's something. We thought we might do scene 4 from Betrayal by Harold Pinter. And just to set this up, the scene takes place in the middle of the play, smack bang in the middle, and I play Robert, a publisher, whose wife is Emma, a gallerist, and Robert's best friend, Jerry, who's a literary agent. But at this point in the play, the audience know that Jerry and Emma have been having an affair. And the conceit is, Pinter's genius is that in this scene, the audience know that Robert knows, and that Jerry doesn't know that Robert knows. And Jerry has come to visit Robert and Emma at their house in the evening. Emma, Jerry's here.
Who?
Jerry.
I'll be down.
Cheers.
Cheers.
She's just putting Ned to bed. I should think he'll be off in a minute.
Off where?
Dreamland.
Ah, yes. How is your sleep these days?
What?
Do you still have bad nights? With Ned, I mean.
Oh, I see. Well, no. No, actually. But it's getting better. You know what they say?
What?
They say boys are worse than girls.
Worse?
Babies. They say boy babies cry more than girl babies.
Do they?
You didn't find that to be the case?
Yes, I think we did. Did you?
Yes. What do you make of it? Why do you think that is?
Well, I suppose boys are more anxious.
Boy babies?
Yes.
What the hell are they anxious about? At their age, do you think?
Well, facing the world, I suppose. Leaving the womb, all that.
What about girl babies? They leave the womb too.
That's true. It's also true no one talks much about girl babies leaving the womb, do they?
I'm prepared to do so.
I see. Well, what have you got to say?
I was asking you a question.
What was it?
Well, why do you assert that boy babies find leaving the womb more of a problem than girl babies?
Have I made such an assertion?
You went on to make a further assertion to the effect that boy babies are more anxious about facing the world than girl babies.
Do you yourself believe that to be the case?
I do, yes.
Why do you think it is?
I have no answer.
Do you think it might have something to do with the difference between the sexes?
Good God, you're right. That must be it.
Hello. Surprise.
I was having tea with Casey,
Where?
just round the corner.
I thought he lived in Hampstead or somewhere.
You're out of date.
Am I?
He's left Susanna. He's living alone round the corner.
Oh.
Writing a novel about a man who leaves his wife and 3 children and goes to live alone on the other side of London to write a novel about a man who leaves his wife and 3 children.
I hope it's better than the last one.
The last one. Ah, the last one. Wasn't that the one about the man who lived in a big house in Hampstead with his wife and 3 children, writing a novel
Why
about...
didn't you like it?
I've told you, actually.
I think it's the best thing he's written.
It may be the best thing he's written, but it's still bloody dishonest.
Dishonest? In what way dishonest?
I've told you, actually.
Have you?
Yes, she has. Once when we were all having dinner, I remember. You, me, Emma, and Judith. Where was it? Emma gave a dissertation over the pudding about dishonesty in Casey, with reference to his last novel, Drying Out. It was most stimulating. Judith had to leave, unfortunately, in the middle of it for her night shift at the hospital. How is Judith, by the way?
Very well.
When are we going to play squash?
Nah, you're too good.
Not at all. I'm not good at all. I'm just fitter than you.
Yes, but why? Why are you fitter than me?
Because I play squash.
Oh, you're playing? Regularly? With whom?
Casey, actually.
Casey. Good Lord, what's he like?
He's a brutally honest squash player. No, really, we haven't played for years. We must play. You were rather good.
Yes, I was quite good. All right, I'll give you a ring.
Why don't you?
We'll make a date.
Right.
Let's do that.
Then I'll take you to lunch.
No, I'll take you to lunch.
The man who wins buys the lunch.
Can I watch?
What?
Why can't I watch? And then take you both. to lunch?
Well, to be brutally honest, we wouldn't actually want women around, would we, Jerry? I mean, a game of squash isn't simply a game of squash. It's rather more than that. You see, first there's the game, and then there's the shower. And then there's the pint, and then there's lunch. After all, you've been at it. You've had your battle. And what you want is your pint and your lunch. You really don't want a woman buying you lunch. You don't actually want a woman within a mile of the place. Any of the places, really. You don't want her in the squash court. You don't want her in the shower or the pub or the restaurant. You see, at lunch, you want to talk about squash. Or cricket. Or books. Or even women. With your friend, and be able to warm to your theme without fear of improper interruption. That's what it's all about. What do you think, Jerry?
I haven't played squash for years.
Well, let's play next week.
Can't next week. I'm in New York.
Are you?
I'm going over with one of my more celebrated writers, actually.
Who?
Casey. Someone wants to film that novel of his you didn't like. We're going over to discuss it. It was a question of them coming over here or us going over there. Casey thought he deserved the trip.
What about you?
What?
Do you deserve the trip?
Judith going.
No. He can't go alone. We'll have that game of squash when I get back. A week. Or at the most 10 days.
Lovely.
Bye.
Charlie Cox, Zoe Ashton, and Tom Hiddleston with a scene from Harold Pinter's play Betrayal. Catch it on Broadway now, later tonight, actually. The second show today for them. Until December 8th, you're listening to Live from Here.
When first I came to town, they called me the roving jewel. Now they changed their tune, they call me Katy Cool. Didn't I hear you tonight, day? Oh, through the woods I'm going, through the boggy mess, straight way down the road till I come to my heart's desire. Oh, didn't I hear you tonight, day? If I was where I would be, then I'd be where I am not. Here I am where I must be, where I'd be I cannot. When first I came to town, they bought me drinks aplenty. Now they changed their tune and damn me bottles empty. Oh, did I hear you tonight, day? First I came to town, they called me the roving jewel. Now they changed their tune and call me Katy Cool. Oh, little I hear you tonight, day. If I was where I would be, then I'd be where I am not. Here I am where I must be, where I'd be I cannot. If I was where I would be, then I'd be where I am not. Here I am where I must be, where I'd be I cannot.
Miss Aoife O'Donovan, welcome back to Live from Here. That was Aoife and me playing Katy Cruel, a folk song dating all the way back to the Revolutionary War. It was suggested to us by you, dear listeners. Earlier this week, we asked you for traditional tunes written by we know not whom, by the people, and you crushed it. We're going to keep doing it. It's going to be a segment called At the Tune of the Unknown Songwriter. But now, I've been delayed groan. Those are my favorites. Now I have been waiting so long to be able to say this. Please welcome Big Thief.
This is live to air. Thank you so much, Chris, and Live From Here for having us. Hello, hello. And yeah, so we are at the end of a 5-week tour, actually. This is really the very home stretch. And I grew up listening to Prairie Home Companion. I'm from Minnesota.
Oh, really?
And, well, I hear myself. But I thought about this time that we got to play a show once with David Welsh and Gillian Rowlings. David Rowlings and Gillian Welsh. And they don't use they don't use monitors, so they just listen to the front of house. So just now I didn't have any monitor sound, and so I was just thinking about that, and I was like, they can do it. I can do it. All right.
And you totally could. Sounded amazing.
Well, I hope so.
100%.
So
This here is the next song. It's about to start.
Clouds on the ceiling, nor the clouds in space. Not the phone on the table, nor the bed in the earth, nor the bed in the stable, nor your stable words. Not the formless being, nor the cry in the air, nor the girl I'm seeing with her long black hair. Not the open weaving, nor the furnace glow, nor the blood of you bleeding as you try to let go. It's not the room, not beginning, not the crowd, not winning, not the planning, not spinning, not a ruse, not heat, not the fire lapping up the creek, not food that you eat, not the meat of your thigh, nor your spine tattoo, nor your shimmery eye, nor the wet of the dew. It's not the warm illusion, nor the crack in the plate, nor the breath of confusion, nor the starkness of slate. It's not the room, not beginning, not the crowd, not winning, not the planning, not spinning, not a ruse, not heat, not the fire lapping up the creek, not food that you eat, not what you really wanted, nor the mess in your purse, nor the bed that is haunted with a blanket of thirst. Not the hunger revealing, nor the ricochet in the cave, nor the hand that is healing, nor the nameless grave. It's not the room, not beginning, not the crowd, not winning, not the planning, not spinning, not a ruse, not heat, not the
Big B. Oh, no monitor, no problem. Mwah. That was insane, you guys. Thank you so much.
You know her from Conan and Colbert, and her podcast, Friends Like Us, was recently featured in O Magazine as a podcast every woman should listen to. Her newest comedy special, Single Black Female, is now available on all platforms, including Amazon Prime. Please welcome back to the show, Marina Franklin.
Thank you. Yes, single black female. I'm all three of those things, so... Yes, I am single because I've made some mistakes, basically. Like, I used to date young. I didn't mean to, it's just I aged well. And they come at me, you know. When I'm hanging out at the GameStop, it's like, you know, it's like, what am I supposed to do? I'm like, you want this? You know, come and get it. But I can't date young anymore. It's exhausting, quite honestly. I mean, because they're always awake. You know, just looking at you like, what next? And I'm like, nothing. Okay, take a nap. But I have to date older now, because the court said so. Said I have to. And that's fine. It's just I'm getting older and the men are getting older. And they come with families now. Like, if I go on a date with an older man, I get a whole family. Like, I don't have kids, so it's like my Tinder is different. It's like, oh, this family looks good. Oh, mom did a good job here. Look at that. I was told I talk about dating too much in my act. You know, my friends won't listen anymore. So, and I have you, so... This is what I talk about. Like, I'm not good at political humor, and it's not because I don't want to, it's just I'm bad at it. And I feel I have guilt about not doing political humor. I have what's called black guilt. Oh, thank you. Some of you laughed. I know, it's a white audience. It's okay. I get it. Like, some of you had white guilt about my black guilt. I don't know. Why did you do that to yourself? Let me have that. But it's just that I need to do more. Like, I don't do enough, and I know this. I'm not as woke as I should be. My woke friends have told me I need to be woker. Like, I need to do some marching. You know, I need to get a good march in. It's just my allergies been acting up. You know? Okay, I'm more of a seasonal protester. Like the Women's March, I wanted to do the first one in D.C. I wanted to do that, but I have a weak bladder. And I knew the lines for that bathroom were gonna be long. And they were. They said they were historically long. When looking back in history, a picture of me just waiting in line for the bathroom, that's not what I want. Or straddling a bush because I couldn't make it. Just looking at my girlfriend like, this is our moment! Look, I'm still peeing, you know, I drink a lot of water. I need to do more, and I know that. I do think it's age, and I am a lot older than I look. I'm black, so you'll never know. All right, but it is happening. There's a certain age, and I didn't think it would happen to me, but there is a certain age where it sets in, where you say the wrong things, you don't know stuff, and what comes out, it's inappropriate, and it's embarrassing. Like, I've been messing up on my pronouns lately because I met someone who was not a guy or a girl. They were they, which is how they want to be referred to, and that's important. I care about that. It's just, it's new to me. And in a sentence, structurally, it makes me sound like a runaway slave. Like, where they at? They's coming? They down by the river? Oh, okay. All right. They gonna be mad at that joke. I'm just saying, I'm trying. I gotta do more. That's it. I just gotta do more. Like, the most I've done is I was like, you know what? Just go out and yell at a white guy. Just do that. That'll get the job done. And I did. The guy was standing too close to me at the grocery store. And I just looked at him, I said, no peace, no justice. He was like, what are you talking about? And it's no justice, no peace. Like, you said it backwards. I was like, yeah, you know, come on, just stand back a little bit. Give me some space. Don't worry, white guys don't get... Like, I've dated a lot of white guys, okay? Because the economy, it was bad for a while. Seriously, like 2 whites ago, this guy... No, okay. So I do have to go soon. I live in Harlem, New York, which has changed. See, you're excited about it. That's different. Some things are still black in Harlem, like the Magic Johnson Theater, which I love. That is a black theater, and we talk at the screen. Oh, I love that. There's a show, and then there's a show. Like, I saw The Lord of the Rings there years ago, and Frodo dropped the ring. And this woman yelled out, she's like, damn, Negro, do your job. She was right, you know. And her timing was amazing. Hey, you guys were amazing too. Thank you so much.
Marina Franklin. Well, it is gonna be a hell of a week for musicians' birthdays, starting with our very own Aoife O'Donovan. Who is, Aoife, earmuffs please, one of my favorite musicians alive. We've been making music together for 12-ish years now, I think, and I am grateful for every song. Okay, you can remove the earmuffs now, Aoife. As tradition dictates, if you are on the show that directly precedes your birthday week, you get to choose something for the birthday segment from anywhere in the wide world of music, sans editorial input from meddlesome mandolinists. Aoife, what's it going to be?
I'm going to do a French art song. I'm sure you were all expecting that. A beautiful song by Gabriel Fauré that I've always wanted to sing. I've never had an opportunity to sing it. And here it is, with the input of said meddlesome mandolinist.
Arrangemental. Yeah.
Si le voix d'un enfant peut monter jusque vous, oh mon Père, écoutez de Jésus devant vous à genoux la prière. Si vous m'avez choisi pour enseigner vos lois sur la terre, je saurai vous servir au gusto.
the one, the only Aoife O'Donovan. Happy imminent birthday, Aoife. We love you.
Thanks.
Oh, hells yes. You know who you share a birthday week with, Aoife, is Jeff Buckley. Jeff Buckley. And based on what I'm hearing these days, I submit that there hasn't been a more influential male vocalist over the last 30 years than Jeff Buckley. And then there's his writing, his taste, his spirit. Every Jeff Buckley song, original or otherwise, is a full spectrum Technicolor explosion of musical expression. A lot of sadness surrounds the appreciation of his music on account of his untimely death, but I feel like the best tribute we can all pay to Jeff is to listen to his music with the kind of joy and wonder that he used to make it. So with that in mind. Asking to stay long enough for the clouds to fly me away. Well, it's my time coming, I'm not afraid to die. My fading voice sings of she cries through the clicking of time, oh time. Waiting fire, waiting fire, waiting fire, waiting fire. And she weaves on my arm, walking to the bright lights of sorrow. Oh, drink a bit of wine, we both might go tomorrow. Oh, my love, and the rain is falling, and I believe my time has come. It reminds me of the pain I might leave behind. Waiting fire, waiting fire, waiting fire, waiting The title track from Jeff Buckley's Grace. Happy birthday, Jeff. Thank you for everything. And we'll polish off this birthday segment with the luminous orb of human ingenuity that is Björk. I have never experienced a more transportive set of music than Björk at Coachella in 2007, and I was struck then, as I am now, by her ability to cultivate communion en masse via abstraction. She's one of the few artists of our time who have managed to combine volcanic creativity with superstar-level magnetism, and the world is a better, more interesting place for it. Björk, oh my God, if you played our show, it would make us all so happy. For now, here's Hyper-Ballad.
before you wake up, so I can feel happier to be safe from here with you. I go through all this before you wake up, so I can feel happier to be safe from here with you. It's early morning. No one is awake. Back at my place, still throwing things up. I listen to the sounds they make on the way down. I follow with my eyes as they crash. I imagine what my body would sound like, slamming against the rocks. And when it lands, will my eyes be closed or open? I go through all this before you wake up, so I can feel happier to be safe from here with you. I go through all this before you wake up, so I can feel happier to be safe from here with you. I go through all this before you wake up, so I can feel happier to be safe from here with you. Safe from here, safe from here, safe from here, safe
That's Aoife O'Donovan, Alex Hargraves on the fiddle, Armand Hirsch on guitar, Gabriel Kahane on keys, Eric Dube on drums, and the secret wizard himself, Mike Elizondo on the bass. Happy birthday, all you extraordinary musicians.
Stay tuned for more from our special guests, Big Thief, DW Gibson, Aoife O'Donovan, and They Might Be Giants. You're listening to Live from here at Town Hall in New York City!
Live from here is supported by Progressive Insurance, offering coverage options as unique as your business. Progressive covers companies of many sizes and specialties. Learn more at progressivecommercial.com. And by T. Rowe Price, offering a strategic investing approach that examines investment opportunities firsthand. Institutions, advisors, employers, and individuals choose T. Rowe Price. T. Rowe Price, invest with confidence. And by Noom, offering a personalized weight loss program based on a cognitive behavioral approach with the goal of losing weight and keeping it off for good. Learn more at Noom, Noom.com. And by Roadside Attractions, presenting the warrior queen of Jhansi, the true story of India's Rani of Jhansi, who led an army against the British Empire and became a feminist symbol of resistance, now playing. If you'd like to see what's happening on stage tonight, check out our live video stream at livefromhere.org. And while you're there, you can check our season schedule, get tickets to upcoming shows, listen to past episodes, and watch your favorite video clips. It's the best place to stay up to date with all the fun we have planned for this fall with guests like Paul Simon, Sarah Bareilles, Ron Funches, Pixies, Maria Bamford, Aeneas Mitchell, and Crooked Still. All that and more at livefromhere.org. Live from Here is produced by American Public Media.
You're listening to Live from Here at Town Hall in New York City.
1, 2.
As time went on, he did his best, and all could see he didn't jest. He practiced calling bids both night and day. His pap found him behind the barn, just working up on off the storms. He tried to imitate the auctioneer. Then his pap said, "Some I just can't stand to have a mediocre man selling things at auction, using all good names. I'll send you off to auction school, then you can be nobody's fool. You can take your place among the fair."
$35 bid and now $40 40. Will you give me 40? Give me 40. Get it on the $40. Who? Give me 40. Who? Bid it on the $40 bid.
$40 bid and now 45. Will you give me 45 to make it 45 to bid at 45? Who would have bid it at a $45 bid? Then his fame spread out from shore to shore. He had all he could do and more. Played around, and the people came from miles around just to hear him make that rhythmic sound that filled their hearts with such happy cheer. Then his fame spread out from shore to shore. He had all he could do and more. Had to buy a plane to get around. Now he's the Dobson on the land. Let's pause and give that man a hand. He's the best of all the auctioneers. $45 bid and now $50 50. Will you give me 50? Make it 50 bid and now $50. Will you give me $50 bid? $50 bid and now 55. Will you give me 55 to make it 55 to bid at 55? Sold that hog for a $50 bid. I sold that hog for a $50 bid.
A little bit more. The rest of the Auctioneer there. Leroy Van Dyke's song. Aoife, you wrote this next song on a jog? Like all of it?
I like to call it a run.
A run.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just inadvertently dissed Aoife's pace. She's hauling around Prospect Park these days, y'all.
No, I'm not. I was in the great city of Vancouver, and I was on a run on a cold December morning in Stanley Park. Anybody ever been to Stanley Park? It's beautiful, just absolutely gorgeous city park. And literally on the run, it was a long run. And I wrote this entire song in my head, which I never do. And it's very weird when that happens, when you just sort of write a song in your head. And then I remember walking to get a coffee and sort of singing it. And I was like, I think it's done. It's just these couple verses and that's it. And I'm going to play it with the band right now. It's called Stanley Park.
Aoife is now tuning. Lining up for yet another difficult putt.
See that girl on the old seawall. Some birds fly and others fall, asleep to the beating of their wings. The wind sings, the wind sings. See that babe at her mother's breast. If I could, I'd take my rest back in the belly from where I came. Nobody knows my name, knows my name. Half asleep in a bowl of gruel. No one told me life was cruel. Home is in this valley now, but it's burning down, it's burning down. If I find a fire escape, I'll break the glass and put on my cape. I pretend I'm Superman. Where are my friends? Where are my friends? I'm a poor wayfarer and I got no one to dry my eyes. Time to lay this body down in the frozen ground, the frozen ground. When I die, Lord, bring me back as a snow white girl. I'll make my tracks on the sandy beach of the English Bay. Then I fly away, I fly away.
Miss Aoife O'Donovan, Stanley Park from the Magic Hour. And now, how about some more They Might Be Giants?
Hey, everybody. Been driving around from one end of this town to the other and back, but no one's ever seen us driving our Econoline van, and no one's ever heard of our band. We're the Mesopotamians, Sargon, Hammurabi, Ashurbanipal, and Gilgamesh, and they wouldn't understand a word we say, so we'll scratch it all down into the clay. I believe in there will sometime come a day someone gives a damn, maybe when the concrete has crumbled to sand. We're the Mesopotamians, Sargon, Hammurabi, Ashurbanipal, and Gilgamesh. The Mesopotamian sun is beating down, it's making cracks in the ground, but there's nowhere else to stand. You in Mesopotamia, the kingdom where we secretly reign, the land that we invisibly rule as the Mesopotamians. Sargon, Hammurabi, Ashurbanipal, and Gilgamesh. This is my last stick of gum. I'm gonna cut it up so everybody else gets some. Except for Ashurbanipal, it says that my haircut makes me look like a Mohenjo-Darin. Hey, Ashurbanipal, I'm a Mesopotamian. Sargon, Hammurabi, Ashurbanipal, and Gilgamesh. We're the Mesopotamians. Sargon, Hammurabi, Ashurbanipal, and Gilgamesh. Hey man, I thought that you were dead. You were dead. You crashed your car. No man, I've been right here this whole time playing bass guitar for the Mesopotamians. We're the Mesopotamians. Sargon, Hammurabi, Ashurbanipal. Sargon, Hammurabi, Ashurbanipal, Gilgamesh. We're the Mesopotamians. Sargon, Hammurabi, Ashurbanipal, and Gilgamesh. Thank you.
Another blast of joy from They Might Be Giants. Another song from them later in the show. You know, I'm pretty sure this is going to be the first time that a They Might Be Giants song has transitioned into a bit of opera music from the 20th century. As I mentioned earlier, it's been a big week for public speaking. A certain legal deposition has been going on, and it's getting, to be honest, incredible ratings. And at Live From Here, we like to give the people what they want. So behold, a legal deposition musicalized by the immortal Benjamin Britten, based on a poem written in 1810. Here's the prologue from Britten's first opera, Peter Grimes. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Peter Grimes, Peter Grimes, Peter Grimes. Peter Grimes, we are here to investigate the cause of death of your apprentice, William S.O.T.W, whose body you brought ashore from your boat, the boy Billy, on the 26th ultimo. Do you wish to give evidence? Will you step into the box? Peter Grimes, take the oath after me. I swear by Almighty God.
I swear by Almighty
that the evidence I shall give,
that the evidence I shall
be the truth,
shall be the
truth, whole truth and nothing but the truth,
the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Tell the court the story in your own words. You sailed your boat around the coast with the intention of putting it to London. Why did you do this?
We caught a huge catch, too big to sell here.
And the boy died on the way.
The wind turned against us, blew us off our course. We ran out of drinking water.
How long were you at sea?
3 days.
What happened next?
He died lying there among the fish.
What did you do?
them all overboard, set sail for home.
You mean you threw the fish overboard? When you landed, did you call for help?
I called Ned Keene,
the apothecary here. Was there anybody else called?
Somebody brought the parson.
You mean the rector, Mr. Horace Adams. All right, Mr. Adams. Was there a certain amount of excitement?
Bubbles started shouting.
There was a scene in the village street from which you were rescued by our landlady.
Yes, by Auntie.
We don't call her that here. You then took to abusing a respectable lady. Answer me. You shouted abuse at a certain person.
Say who, say who, say who?
Mrs. Sedley here.
I don't like interfere. Gossip, the result is someone doesn't sleep at night. The result is someone doesn't sleep at night.
Silence.
Sleep at night.
Silence. Now tell me this. Who helped you carry the boy home? The schoolmistress, the widow, Mrs. Ellen Orford.
When you pray, you shut your eyes and then can't tell the truth from lies. Truth from lies.
Silence.
Truth from lies.
Mrs. Orford and the schoolmistress, the widow.
From lies.
How did you come into this?
I did what I could to help.
Why would you help this kind of fellow, callous, brutal, and coarse? There's something here, perhaps, in your favor. I am told you rescued the boy from drowning in the March storms. Have you something else to say? No? Then I have. To crimes I here advise you. Do not get another boy apprentice. Get a fisherman to help you, big enough to stand up for himself. Our verdict is that William Spode, your apprentice, died in accidental circumstances. But that's the kind of thing people are apt to remember.
When the crown is, who can dare to fix it? Who can dare to fix it? Who dare to fix it? Your honor, your honor. Like every other fisherman, I have to hire an apprentice. I must have help.
Then get a woman, help you look after him.
That's what I want, but not yet.
Why not?
Not till I've stopped people's mouths.
Stand down, clear the court, stand down.
Stand down, you say, you wash your hands. The case goes on in people's minds. The charges that no court has made will be shouted at my head. Then let me speak, let me stand trial. Bring the accusers into the hall. Let me thrust into their minds the truth itself, the simple truth, the truth itself.
Clear the court. Clear the court. Clear the court. Clear the court.
How about Mr. Gabriel Kahane on the keyboards? And Swallow. Oh, that was so fun. I love that piece. Which brings us to our local break. By the way, for those who tuned in the middle, that was the prologue of Benjamin Britten's Peter Grimes. This week, we want to send a fuzzy peach tree full of ahoys to our friends down in Atlanta, listening in on WABE. Here's a song called Vox Humana from a great Atlanta band, Deer Hunter. Represented a different frequency range. And I remember holding the hand of the skeleton prince as he swept me into his arms. And he had tremolo deep in the back of his black eye sockets. And he said, "Do you want to come away with me into the pitch black pool?" And I said, I don't know. Photocopy. The wind ripped through the trees and all the stained glass windows rattled. I haunted a basket maker's shop in 1927. And on the beach in the summer, there were thunderstorms constantly. And they were unpredictable. Nobody knew when they would come, and nobody knew how long they'd last. Sometimes they'd only last 5 minutes, and sometimes weeks. You're listening to Live from Here. Welcome back to Live from Here. The Deer Hunter song there for you, Vox Humana. You know who's here is author, journalist, and radio host, a colleague, DW Gibson.
When I was 7, I was put into a class at church called Young Men's Leadership. While my sister was rehearsing Grease at the middle school, I was spending every Wednesday night with half a dozen other guys, all of them older than me, some by 4 or 5 years. It was all about training the church leaders of tomorrow, future ministers and deacons and elders, or in my case, a humanist who can't quit with the follow-up questions. Our minister, Paul Thomas, taught the class. He was our Mr. Rogers, thoughtful, inventive, so soft-spoken, and so good at meeting us where we were. We gathered in the empty sanctuary and had the place all to ourselves. We huddled together in the first few pews, and Paul taught us to read music. He sent us up to the pulpit to lead songs from the hymnals, tracing an invisible backwards J for 6/8 time signature. We learned to read scriptures, announce the verse and corresponding page number in the brown Bibles in the pews, then mentally count to 10 to give everyone time to find the page. In your head, count in your head. I can see you moving your lips, Paul would say. We learned to say prayers and benedictions, and on some Wednesdays, Paul surprised us with mint brownies. The whole experience definitely made me excited about this God thing, but more to the point, it felt safe and fun, and I was figuring out how to get comfortable in my own skin. I had a few hurdles. For starters, I was in weekly speech therapy because the letter R turned my tongue into a 50-pound dumbbell. I couldn't make that sound, R. And there was another problem. I had a half-baked accent living in a house of Texans who had recently relocated to Southern California. Let's face it, I was the only kid in Young Men's Leadership who couldn't surf, who couldn't say his R's, and who couldn't hear the difference between 10 and 10. But Paul Thomas convinced me that none of that mattered. He made that big, empty sanctuary so intimate and easy, and there were mint brownies. Besides, it was always the same guys in the class, so we grew used to each other, and their faces stopped reacting to my voice after a while, and they probably just stopped hearing me altogether. And just as soon as my third grade life felt like it was settling into place, Paul Thomas blew it all up, lovingly and gently, but he blew it up. He said the time had come for each of us to write and deliver a 5-minute sermon to the congregation. He gave us all the same prompt. What does God look like? The announcement felt like some kind of betrayal. We had an agreement, Paul. This was practice in an empty sanctuary, not 5 minutes all alone in front of 150 people talking. There was no way I could pull that off without a 5-car pileup in my mouth. As Paul explained, we would have 6 weeks to prepare. I sat dazed, contemplating every possible escape. Sickness, sticking a nail in the tire of the family car, a sudden turn to atheism. It might land me in hell, but at least it would get me out of this mess. But none of those were real possibilities. I knew that. I surrendered to 6 weeks of nightmares. No, not nightmares. Nightmares require sleeping. Those were 6 weeks of lying awake, imagining 150 faces, one at a time, turning on me. I knew that the warmth and grace of that sanctuary was going to collapse the moment my mouth opened in front of everyone. Still, I did everything Paul asked of me. I looked up scriptures with descriptions of physical encounters with God, and I drew pictures of these scenes with markers on overhead projector sheets so Paul could display them on the wall during my sermon. For 2 weeks, every guy in class sat on his own pew, separated by a minimum of 5 pews so we wouldn't distract each other, and we wrote down our ideas about what God might look like. I started with a rhetorical question, no R's, of course. Does anybody know what God looks like? My brain, it wasn't working. It was the sleeplessness and the sweat and the R's. So I just started stealing ideas I'd heard before. I wrote down things I could remember adults saying. I stole lyrics from songs. My God is so big. I spent a week in my room with the door closed, reading that text aloud over and over. Every minute that I was not eating or at school, I was drilling dark and fire into my head. November 2nd, 1986. Paul introduced me to the congregation. He smiled, which made me turn on him. How could he not see the disaster that was about to happen? Why had he convinced me that I could do this? And my mom, too. I wanted to blame her as she sat there beaming at me in the front pew. She had confused me with my sister in her callback for Rizzo. She was the one who got up in front of crowds. But here I was, stepping up to the pulpit because I found it impossible to tell anyone that I could not do this. So I delivered the sermon, wearing my avocado green three-piece suit, standing on the wooden box that lent the half-foot I needed to see over the top of the pulpit.
This description tells me that God is very famous and smart, and everybody likes him. What does God look like? Since God is a spirit, it is hard for us to understand, but these Bible pictures of him give us clues as to how to recognize him. The next time I am in a big house after dark, I'm going to remember that God has so many faces, and he can see everything. I'm going to try to recognize God.
My efforts to recognize God remain ongoing. If I learned nothing else while delivering that sermon, I learned that God can take many forms, including glowing metal, four-faced creatures, a burning bush, and 150 people embracing every last part of you, willing you to embrace yourself.
DW Gibson. That was an actual recording of him delivering that sermon, by the way. And this is actual Big Thief.
Familiar dream. I wake up laughing and running from the boy, crying and coming, 'cause the toy in my hand is real. What a tomb we're building here in the sphere. That's where we all die. In the eye, that's where I'm living. 'Cause the toy in my hand is real. In her room, her warm hands play on my breast. What is she singing? In the form, ringing and ringing. 'Cause the toy in my hand is real. The toy in my hand is real. Charcoal womb, the jet planes purr, and the croon distant as paper. Children burn, faceless vapor. 'Cause the toy in my hand is real. Yes, the toy in my hand is real.
One more time for Big Thief. Go out and get you some Big Thief. Thank you so much, you guys. Amazing. I want to invite Gabriel Kahane to step out from behind his array of keyboards and
I've
deliver
stepped out.
us a song.
It's called Last Dance from a record called Where Are the Arms? When winter announced itself, new pleasures were small. Corner table, routines, daily walks at the main street. She takes her morning bundle of pills, she poaches her egg and eats it, and feels its slight impression like crushed pillows hold the shape of her body after nights of sleep and shadow. Oh, dear woman. She sits across seeing a man, eager to impress her. They offer words like, "You're lost. How are you getting on, dear woman?" She smiles and straightens her dress, excuses herself, and gets up out from the table, eyeing the dessert tray. Brief distraction, and then the ladies lounge all decked in velvet. Locks herself in the stall and she begins to sing. How do I deny that I am tired and trembling over evening when all I want is a face to hold and love and light and sex and cigarettes. One final delight, you know, the finer things that I got so used to when all I want is your face, all I want is the last dance. How do I deny that I am tired and trembling over evening when all I want is your face to hold and love and light and sex and cigarettes. One final delight in all the finer things that I got so used to when all I want is your face, all I want is the last dance. How do I deny that I am tired and trembling over evening when all I want is your face to hold and love and light and sex and cigarettes. One final delight in all the finer things that I got so used to when all I want is your face, all I want is the last dance. How do I deny that I am tired and trembling over evening when all I want is your face to hold and love and light and sex and cigarettes. One final delight in all the finer things that I got so used to when all I want is your face, all I want is the last dance. How do I deny that I am tired and trembling over evening when all I want is your face to hold and love and light and sex and cigarettes. One final delight in all the finer things that I got so used to when all I want is your face, all I want is the last dance.
Mr. Gabriel Kahane, Last Dance. And one more time, They Might Be Giants.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll indulge us for just one moment, we're entering the 35th year of our preview season in They Might Be Giants. Could you all please rise for our national anthem? Please, just for the next 18 minutes, please rise from your seats, wave your hands above your head for just one brief moment. Work it out, people in the balcony, we can see you. Please rise from your seats. Now, ladies and gentlemen, join us as we welcome to center stage, where he is lit from within, all the way from Connecticut, Mr. Kurt Ram on the trumpet and the trombone.
Istanbul was Constantinople, now it's Istanbul and Constantinople. Been a long time gone. Constantinople, now it's Church of Light on a moonlit night. Every gal in Constantinople is in Istanbul and Constantinople. So if you've been in Constantinople, should be waiting in Istanbul. Even old New York was once New Amsterdam. Why they changed it, I can't say. People just liked it better that way. So, no, we can't go back to Constantinople. Been a long time gone. Constantinople, why did Constantinople get the works? That's nobody's business but the Turks. The Turks. Istanbul. Istanbul, even old New York was once New Amsterdam. Why they changed it, I can't say. No, we can't go back to Constantinople. Been a long time gone. Constantinople, why did Constantinople get the works? That's nobody's business but the day.
They Might Be Giants. Thank you so much, fellas.
Live from Here is produced by American Public Media. Thank you to our special guests, Tom Hiddleston, Charlie Cox, and Zoe Ashton from the Broadway show Betrayal, Aoife O'Donovan, DW Gibson, Marina Franklin, They Might Be Giants, and Big Thief. Thanks to our house band and our musical director, Mike Elizondo. Thanks to the staff of Live from Here. Thanks to the staff at Town Hall. And check out video clips from tonight's show and learn about what's coming up at livefromhere.org.
Live from Here is supported by Progressive Insurance, comparing car insurance rates from multiple insurers so shoppers can evaluate options in one place. Now that's Progressive. Comparisons available at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. The night is young, y'all. Let's go out and keep listening.
$45 bid and now $50 bid. Give me 50, make it 50 bid and all $50. Ooh, give me 50, who bid it on a $50 bid. $50 bid and now 55. We give me 55 to make it 55 to bid it 55. Sold that out for a $50 bid. Sold that out for a $50 bid. Sold that out for a $50 bid.
Thank you again, everyone out there in Radio Land. Mr. Mike Elizondo on the bass, Aoife O'Donovan, Eric Dube, Armand Hirsch, Alex Hargraves, and Gabriel Cahan. Thank you again. Good night.
American Public Media.